within a specified time. That's a very complicated definition. One simple way, if you have to re-intubate ever, that's an extubation failure. The incidences are fortunately low in operation theatre, very high in intensive care unit, but if it occurs, the consequences are really devastating. The mortality and morbidity incidences are very high because it is transition from a controlled to uncontrolled environment. It is different to intubate a difficult airway in a controlled situations at the induction than removing a simple airway case, extubation where patient is really struggling. So it's altogether a different scenario when you are removing the tube. On top of that, there are physiological and human factors which can complicate extubation process, and certain conditions and procedures are associated with higher chance of extubation failures. What are the major reasons? The majority time it is airway obstructions, either because of spasm, airway edema, bleeding, hematoma, clot, and so other reasons. So these are the major reasons. The other reason would be inadequate breathing, reflexes, perfusions. Other reasons to re-intubate would be inadequate, the other system, morbidities. So the factors which are reasons for the extubation failure is one is extubation process itself, and other is patient surgery or anesthesiologist related. Patient related means that means patient has OSA, obesity, COPD patients, head and neck surgeries, upper airway manipulations, and in NAF4, the majority time they have found failure to plan. Inappropriate, incomplete planning, management and judgment was a major reason for extubation failure in NAF4 report. What are the factors which can complicate any process of extubation? So any process, one is exaggerated airway reflexes. We know patient can have coughing, laryngospasm, sympathetic stimulation which can complicate any normal extubation, or reduced airway reflexes just because of overdose of inhalation anesthetic, overdose of the IV anesthetics, or incomplete reversal of a neuromuscular relaxants. Airway injury is very common. In fact, a close claim analysis very clearly identified that most common airway injury occurred in a normal or easy intubation and a very short surgery. So chances of airway injury can occur even with your routine intubation where you never felt, you never realized that injury can occur. General anesthesia associated with the reduced reserve, that means there are chances of atelectasis, so there is reduced reserve of oxygen, and at the time of extubation, patient do have shivering and other increased demand. So at the end of general anesthesia, at the time of extubation, there is a reduction in the reserve and increase in the demand of oxygen. And human factor. Majority time at the end of surgery, the fiber optic bronchoscope which was outside has gone back to the closet because that staff has to clean it and put it back. The senior doctor has left for the tea or coffee or a lunch, and it is left to the junior doctor. On top of that, if I am coming out of anesthesia in this particular CT, I am going to speak in Gujarati and you are not going to understand that, because in that state I am actually going back to my native language rather than a language which I am right now speaking. So there is a lot of communication difficulty at the extubation compared to what you do at the induction or intubation. So all this can complicate any process of extubation, and that is how Richard Cooper says that any extubation is potential re-intubation. So always take extubation seriously, much more seriously probably than your intubation, because it is much more controlled environment. So extubation is an elective process, requires this condition needs to be optimized and needs an algorithmic approach. What could be your algorithmic approach? It depends on two things. Is there any potential difficult airway, or is there any comorbidity? If it is not there, then you have a situation like this, which we are very commonly, it's majority of our anesthesia. Young patients, normal airway assessment, uneventful airway management at the induction, minimal chances of problem during surgery. So chances of extubation failure are less, and if you ever have to re-intubate, that things should be easy. In such a situation, what you can adopt is a regular awake extubation. That means still in awake extubation,